Why is this adult more empathic? We're in a meeting, or we're in a sales force. I mean, it could be in anything, and you can see how one person tends to be more empathic, one less so. What's going on? We also tend to see with males and females that what we mean by highly empathic matters, and we have to look at empathy differently, because we tend to think of empathy. Well, I'll ask you. When you hear the word empathy, do you tend to think female or do you tend to think male? What? We tend to think female, and I think it's probably natural that we tend to think female, even though I would say it's a myth, and you probably would too. Males are quite empathic. But we tend to think of empathy as being as having verbal components, don't we? We would like it to kind of be wrapped around words. And we tend to think of empathy as, I am immediately able to get into your feelings, right? And or I'm immediately interested in getting into your feelings. And we do tend to see more of that immediately and directly being associated with female. And so, over the history of humanity, we have tended to think of empathy more as female. But I want to give you an illustration that sort of helps us to see how empathy can be both male and female, but come out in a different way. And this is this is an illustration that's in the Wonder of Boys. There's a street hockey game, right, with the little nets, and this is not winter. Let's say this is summer, and we got the little nets, and the guys are on, and the gals are on the rollerblades. So we're 10 to 12-year-old boys and girls, and this happened right near my house. They're playing, everything's going well. About a 10-year-old kid falls down. A girl comes by, about 11 or 12, comes by on her roller skates, on her rollerblades. She kind of gets down with where the boy, he's fallen down, gets down, kind of pats him, says, "Are you okay?" Right? We would think of that, we would immediately recognize that as empathic, right? That's our standard for empathy. So I would call that direct empathy. Females tend to use more direct empathy. The 12-year-old boy comes by on his skates. He looks down at this kid, ascertains that this kid is not dead, and so he says, get up, we need you. Get up, we need you. Well, that's actually incredibly empathic. But you'd have to really twist your brain around, right, to say that that's empathic, because we think of empathy as getting down at the level of the hurt child, right, trying to physically or tactily comfort the hurt child, and verbalizing, "Are you okay?" Well, let me argue that this is just as empathic. The direct empathy helps this child's self-esteem, no doubt about it, because the child feels better, feels cared for. But the other kid who says, get up, we need you," more goal-oriented, and presents to this fallen child that he is needed, and that can raise the self-esteem of the child too. Child gets back up, goes, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm important. I got to get back to work." Two different ways of doing empathy. Does that make sense? Two different ways of doing empathy. And it's something that we are noticing a lot actually in workplaces that people need to realize, because men and women do empathy differently. And sometimes men do not use as many words. And they are misunderstood because women think they're not being empathic. They could be challenging and sort of aggressively nurturing. I call it aggression nurturance. Nurturing through aggression, which we think of as an oxymoron, but it's not. Nurturing through aggression. Hey, we're playing a game here. We get up. We need you. Get up. We need you. Don't do that. We need you. Come over here. Well, it's not very empathic of the feelings at the moment, but it does reinsert the individual into whatever is the project.